Nora is a nurse who takes care of Mr. Miles. She is British, from England.
Cheerio.
Mr. Miles is in a wheelchair due to a stroke that he had. Since his second stroke, he is no longer able to speak. Nora always tries to get Mr. Miles outside for walks so that he can get fresh air. One midsummer morning, Nora was pushing Mr. Miles in his wheelchair down Gibb Street in Cleveland. The street was no longer as vibrant as it was many years ago. It seemed that about half the storefronts were empty. Lately, Mr. Miles wasn't as vibrant either. His interest in life was declining. But on that particular morning, something caught his eye, and his arm came up, indicating that he wanted to stop. Nora stopped so they could look at the garden on their left. After a few minutes, Nora started pushing the wheelchair again. Mr. Miles' arm came up again, and he pointed toward the garden. Nora wheeled him into the garden. She could see Mr. Miles taking in the garden sights and smells, and they spent the day there watching people. The garden was made up of various plots. Each plot was different and unique. Some had brick pathways and flower borders, while others had more randomly placed plants. One had a car door set up as a gate, and another had bed springs propped up to allow beans to climb. There was also a hummingbird feeder, a barbecue grill, and a gardening pad hanging from a nail. Nora could see that this garden spiked an interest in Mr. Miles, so she decided to find a way to get him more involved. Nora took Mr. Miles to the garden again. She cut holes in the bottom of the barrel with her pocket knife and shoveled some dirt into the barrel. Mr. Miles selected the seeds he wanted to plant from a selection of seed packets that Nora had bought. He chose flower seeds over vegetable seeds. Nora pushed him as close to the barrel as she could, and in 30 minutes he had planted hollyhocks, poppies, and snapdragons. And in 30 minutes he had planted hollyhocks, poppies, and snapdragons. Nora could tell that he was pleased with his potted seeds because he smelled the dirt on his fingers on the wheelchair ride home. That barrel of dirt was like a second home to Mr. Miles and Nora. The author called it a soap opera growing out of the ground. Mr. Miles gained back some of his interest in life as he watched the sprouts come out of the dirt. He weeded and watered that barrel regularly. It was his therapy. It was his therapy. Most of the time, Nora and Mr. Miles were alone in their section of the garden. The most common visitors were cats, because someone nearby buried sardines with their seeds.
Jeez.
One day, there was a downpour,
Oh no, we have to get out of this rain.
and this brought all the gardeners together under an overhang in front of one of the stores. This small dry space forced everyone together, and in 15 minutes, they met all the other gardeners and knew the regulars. Most of the regulars were old and grew plants from other native lands. To get over the language barrier, they used pantomime. Even though they were different culturally, they shared the same weather, pests, neighborhood, and caring emotion towards their plants. The Gibb Street Garden brought people together. Nora is a nurse who takes care of Mr. Miles. She is British, from England.
Cheerio.
Mr. Miles is in a wheelchair due to a stroke he had. Since his second stroke, he is no longer able to speak. Dang it, I messed up. I just cut it. After a few minutes, Nora started pushing the wheelchair again. Cut! One day, there was a downpour.
Oh no, we have to get it out of
Wait a minute.
Nora took Mr. Miles to the garden again. She cut holes in the bottom of the barrel with her pocket knife and shoveled some dirt into the barrel. Who gave her the machete? I said pocket knife. Cut.